Good morning, guys. Today I wanted to go back to talking about your soul's blueprint. I mentioned it a few days ago with using the analogy of how a snowflake has its own design, own imprint, own blueprint, that no two snowflakes are the same. And that's the same example that I will be using for us, our soul's blueprint. There is no two people in this universe who have the same blueprint, because each of us have our own path. And a few days ago, or last week, whenever it was, when I was first shown my very first snowflake in my vision, it was just a partial snowflake, and I'm not certain if I actually mentioned that. I got a little excited about seeing it and understanding what it meant, but I may have left that out. So what I saw my very first time was the snowflake very up close to me, because God wanted me to see what I was seeing. And the snowflake was rotating, and it was as if something was covering a section of it. And like you have mechanics in a watch, how you have different layers, and you'll see the mechanics just shifting and turning in the gears section of the watch. So that's how my snowflake was, and it was moving and rotating and allowing me to see just a small portion of my blueprint. So that told me that I was beginning to activate parts of my soul's blueprint a few days ago. Today, I have been shown this morning the entire snowflake today. And it was not up close. I didn't need to see it up close, because now I was able to see the entire snowflake. And there were other things, floating around my snowflake, but the snowflake was the main part of this vision. And when this is taking place, when the activation is taking place to its fullest, or even partial, you can have very, very intense symptoms from this, regardless if it's being activated or not. Really, on our journey of healing and of growing and transforming and ascending, in order to have something new, you have to let go of the old. And in order to let go of the old in our physical self, it has to manifest in some way, shape, or form. And usually it comes out in a symptom of body aches and pains, colds. And I have woken up today with a sore throat. Actually, I went to bed with one, kind of a sore throat on my right side, and a lot of drainage. It has been coming out like I haven't ever had drainage come out, very easily and smoothly, and I'm thankful for that. And I've woken up now. I've been up for a couple hours here, and I'm getting queasy in my stomach, very flu-like symptoms, chills and hot sweats, and this takes place. Okay, we have been so designed to believe that we are prone to tons of illnesses, tons of sicknesses. Yes, we can catch cold from somebody else, but usually it's our own mindset that is already triggering something. But during our transformation and ascending, these colds and symptoms manifest because of our unresolved emotions inside that are finally coming out physically to make us aware of what was left within us. And it's not that we have to be aware of the actual emotion. because sometimes that never, ever takes place. Because some, our emotions, it goes back to the beginning of our own birth, to our very first existence, to the things that we have learned and picked up. So we don't need to always relive, every single negative emotion or experience within our own life. It just has to be released. That's the important part, is releasing it. And still, when we can come into that point of nurturing ourselves during this time of low energy, I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't like to say sick, whatever, any longer, because I'm not a victim any longer. I know that with this low phase here, a low energy, or this blessing that is coming to me, it is releasing the old and giving me something great. And I am going to nurture myself accordingly. And here is something else that I have become aware of. And it's not just recently, it's even in my past medications. When we go to the doctors and get prescriptions, I have always had a sensitivity to them. And it's because people who are here, beings who are here to help serve, are very sensitive to the man-made items. And just can't take certain things. So pay attention to that. And don't always, go back to that so quickly. You can do things naturally. You can do things with your own mind. You can just nurture yourself here at home. By all means, if you feel you need to go to the doctors, you go. But be aware of what takes place when you are taking medications and how you feel, and be mindful of that. And if you need to, don't discontinue medication, because it can, especially if you're sick and on antibiotics, you can't, because it'll make things worse. But you're gonna, if you realize that it either hasn't helped, you have to try so many other different types of medication, antibiotics or anti-inflammatories, and you feel worse during that time frame or even afterwards, it's because you have a sensitivity to it, and it's really not what you're supposed to be going to or turning towards. But again, this is your journey. You do what is best for you. It's something that I have realized that I just can't have any longer, and I won't have any longer. I choose to allow it to take its course, and do just minor over-the-counter things and herbal supplements and things like that, tons of water and minerals, and positive thinking. So I wanted to share that with you today about the blueprint. It has been fully activated for myself, and I don't know what's going to take place after this. Every time that we hit a certain point, you should be able to feel it physically, whether it's going to be, again, in a symptom or an emotional sense, where you can feel there is a change in your emotional state, a calmness, possibly the way that you hold and carry yourself now, if you want to call it confidence, or your change in your demeanor is going to be different. And I have that, and I have had that for ever since the full moon. There has been a peace and a calmness and a change in my voice, how I speak now. It's more slow and calm, and that's the same with the way that I am moving in the day. It's more slower, because now time has kind of like slowed back down again, and there's no rush for anything. So that's a big change for myself, and it's something that when it's time for you to get to this level, or possibly some of you who are already watching this and going through this, you understand what I'm talking about. And it's going to be different for each and every one of us, because again, we are all living a different life. We're experiencing a different human existence, and our purposes are different. And what we're going to feel will be kind of similar, but kind of different. So I know I have something great to look forward to, but right now I have to deal with this, this little low energy feeling, and but through it, I know a breakthrough comes. So I wanted to share that with you guys today, and that's it. Much love, health, and healing your way. This is Christy. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.